addicted to the good life. Yeah, lead the way. I follow. No need to say. With me, you're heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it. In this moment, I cannot say what's wrong or right. It's not hard to fool me, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah, lead the way. I follow. No need to say. With me, you're heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it. In this moment, I cannot say what's wrong or right. It's not hard to fool me, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah, lead the way. I follow. No need to say. With me, you're heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it. In this moment, I cannot say what's wrong or right. It's not hard to fool me, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah, lead the way. I follow. No need to say. With me, you're heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it. In this moment, I cannot say what's wrong or right. It's not hard to fool me, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah, lead the way. I follow. No need to say. With me, you're heading now, babe. I follow.
All right, what's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussion about the hottest topics in weight loss with, of course, the coolest people from the bariatric community. I'm Rob Waiting in Vain. This is Murph, aka Murph's Losing It. Grab a
Hey,
chair, wind down from your busy day, and we're having tons of busy days as of late, and take a seat at the table. Murph, how's it going, man?
busy, busy, busy. Yeah. I mean, it's been crazy, but staying busy. Time's flying, and still having fun and doing good, feeling healthy, feeling good. Yeah,
Good, good.
yeah. You?
Awesome. It's we were just talking about it earlier. It's been super busy for work, and fall has always been a busy time of year. Kids back to school, trying to readjust and everything. But um, I got some new hobbies that are taking up a lot of time. Work's taking up a lot of time. Halloween just passed, and that was a big, big thing for us. So yeah, it's been
Can we
busy.
talk? Can we talk? Can we talk for 2 seconds about your zombie costume, bro? Mad props. Like, number one, I didn't even know that was you. I had to ask. I was like, wait, now is that you or just like somebody walking down your street? How did you pull it? That was crazy. Best costume of the year right there. If you guys haven't seen Rob's zombie walk down the street, that was scary. That was legit.
So
That
this
was
is our
awesome.
second time doing this. So our street, which I will always say that our street is the best street, but we this is the second year that we've chosen to close the street down and do a zombie apocalypse. So last year we did it. Halloween was on the weekend, so we were like, oh, we have time. We set it up. We did a day of sort of um, games for the younger kids. We spent the day setting up and everything. And what the idea was, like, we all want to be out there. We all want to be enjoying. So we set up zombie safe stations. So all the adults could be at safe stations handing out candy as opposed to their doors and see everything that's going around. Right.
Cool.
And we would have zombies sort of walking around. Um, Once the air siren would go on, the Walking Dead music would sort of kick in.
Oh
And
my
one of our
god.
buddies on our street, he's been doing um, smaller haunted houses. But this last year, it was almost two houses wide. And we did, I think, about 7 different tents. And we made
Wow.
pretty much a tunnel. And he spent tons and tons of money on stuff over the years. And that was sort of like the big part of it. But we had
Yeah.
over 1,000 people come through last year.
Wow.
And this year, it being on Monday, we're like, I don't know if we're going to do it. I don't know if we have time. But the kids, no one wanted to trick or treat. They wanted to take part in the street and they wanted to do all these different things. So we're like, okay, we got to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
Yeah.
did it again. It was even scarier. We had
Yeah.
over 1,000 people come through again.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's a good
I
one.
know where I'm going next year for Halloween for sure,
Oh
man. We
man.
we are we are coming to Canada, and
Oh
we
man,
have
you
got to be a
should.
part of that. That was amazing. Like, we had, so our yard is like we're a corner house.
Yeah.
You were here, and so we opened the front gate and opened the back gate and just had people walking through. We had maybe 150 people come through. So nothing nearly as extravagant as, as big as yours, but it was successful, for the community. As far as this community goes, it was a really good event, and we
Yeah.
had a lot of fun. But man, I seeing you in that zombie costume, that whole get up, and just what you're doing for your neighborhood is really cool, and for your kids too. And you're able to be out there and doing that stuff. That's really cool, man.
Nah, I appreciate it. It's good. I'm very sore because walking with that fake limp, the
Yeah.
next day I was walking like that again. And my wife's like, "You're not a zombie anymore." I'm like, this is all me now. This is all me hurting. So it was fun. It was awesome, man. Thank
That's
you so much,
awesome.
though.
That's awesome.
But today we're celebrating us sort of making it. This is our 10th episode, and we've finally broken the double digit mark. And we
Yeah.
have actually, I think, no, I'm 100% sure we've broken the double digit marks previously, but thanks to technical issues or sick days and
Yeah,
whatever the case
yeah.
might be, this is officially our 10th
Official.
episode.
This is the official.
Exactly.
Yeah, 10th
I was sort of
episode.
looking at all the videos. I'm like, oh crap, we have more than
It's like our
10.
15th or something, but yeah,
Exactly. It's up there.
technically, yeah.
So we've had some great guests.
On that note, real quick, just wanted to say too, I think we're close to, I think 200 followers.
Yep.
Or something like that. Really, really close to almost 200 followers. I meant to look before we jumped on because I know it's climbing and a lot of people. So thank you guys. Is it 202? Okay. 202. Thank you guys for your support. This is in 10 episodes. We've already amassed, this really great following and just a really cool family and friends group meeting at the table Wednesday nights at 9. Like, this is just really cool. And I'm super blessed and kind of blown away that we're already up to 200. So thank you all for tuning in and watching.
You mentioned sort of Wednesday nights at 9 type thing, and it's interesting because that's what a lot of people like to do, and when they spend their time, right? Like it's something that's totally different from I know what I grew up with, right? Like you didn't do anything, we didn't have anything like this back then, right? But being able to sort of connect with people who are like-minded, going through a lot of the same journey and experiences, it's awesome. I love it. I love being part of it. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So we had talked about a lot of different options in regards to the guests this week, and sort of to celebrate our 10th episode, we were just like, well, why don't we do a bit of a recap sort of our previous episodes or touch upon them, but bring back the ever popular Ask Us Anything, because the last time we didn't get through all our questions. We had a lot of people shooting out some questions. So I think it would be fun if we added that. And thank you very much for everyone who had sent some of the questions. We really, really do appreciate it. I'm going to start off though with one of my very own. I'm going to ask you, Murph. I'm going to sort of put you on the spot here.
Okay.
What's been your favorite episode so far?
Oh man.
And anyone in the comments, you can also chime in and share anything that you enjoyed the most out of our last episodes.
You say the pressure's on me, but we've got Mary and Carrie watching, and so of course all of our guests have just been phenomenal, and every one of them has blown my mind in some way, shape, or form. Just I think I'm getting more out of doing the waiting table than our viewers or our friends and family that are watching. I'm learning so much, and talking to Carrie about, and you and
Corinne.
Oh, Corinne, yes, I knew it started with this. I had it. About doing like a triathlon. It's just so motivating. That was such a great episode. I can't just pick one. Mary was great, talking to her about doing it, being a bariatric patient for 10 years, and she's still learning, and it's just like, man, it's so cool. Jeannie was a really good episode for me. I feel like I needed to hear a lot of that stuff because my diet has been made up of a lot of myths, and so I was able that night to debunk a lot of things, and my mind was just kind of blown. Some things that I thought I was supposed to be doing, or or that I was told to do, but I didn't know why I was supposed to be doing it, or why I'm doing it, or like I'm don't drink and eat, for example. But why? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? And protein and things like that. And so they've all just been so mind blowing, and I've learned so much from having everybody on. It's hard to just pick one. And then Jason from Barry Nation last week, and his crew who joined us in the comment section. Like, man, I don't know. I'm just feeling like super blessed, just over the moon, excited about what the waiting table has brought into my life. So I can't pick just one, but that's a very loaded question. But
100%.
Yeah. So back at you. What are you thinking? What's been your favorite so far?
Yeah. So first, shout out to Jeannie, because Carrie and Mary both said that those were great episodes. I echo what you had said in terms of all of them being so good. I would probably say the most challenging one has been the one with our daughters, because it was just like, oh, my daughter was so excited. I want to say this. I want to say all this. And then you put her in
Yeah.
front of the camera and she's like, she doesn't want to
That
say anything.
that
And
could
then it's
have,
like,
maybe should have been a 5-minute episode. I mean, it
100%.
was really,
Yeah.
we really stretched that one out.
Like,
Tried to make
okay.
it, but we're asking the same questions over and over. What do you think of Daddy now? Okay, what
Yeah.
about now? Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Like,
that was a
daddy farts.
challenging-
I'm like, what the hell? That's what you're adding to this? That's so my daughter. But no, so that was the most difficult, but I love doing it more
Yeah.
because what it signifies for, I think, both of us, right? Like, these
Yeah.
are the reasons why we did this. So
Right.
it's an honor for me to do a show featuring our kids, right? So
Yeah.
it was the most challenging, but that was one of the most rewarding.
Yeah.
I would say that for me, my favorite episode was the one where we did at your place, man, because
That was
as
good.
much as everything has been, and I agree with you, it's been a blessing, I think, for us to be
Yeah.
able to connect with all these people and to put this content out there to
Yeah.
the community that we're part of. That felt like such a big thing for me to
Yeah.
be like, this is real now. Like, I would ideally like for us to be sitting in a room doing this pod, but we live in different parts of the world, and there's all these different things, but technology, as much as it kicks our butt every week, like, it's
Yeah.
allowed us to do this, right? So
Yeah.
being there, feeling the energy of being there with you and your family and the hospitality and everything is just, I loved it. So that's what I would say was my favorite episode. So I'm
Yeah.
taking a stance.
Yeah.
None of these all are great.
I mean, it's definitely a top 10 for me. I would have
sure.
to say.
Yes. Top 10. All right,
No,
let's get
yeah,
into
having you here was fantastic, and I wish we could do it like that, but maybe someday. You don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Never know.
We'll get it.
Never know.
I'm gonna say hi to my wife. Hello, Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Let's get to some
My
of
wife's
these
not on.
questions. She's studying because she's acing her exams.
She
Congratulations.
is, man. She's
You're
killing it. She's killing it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's go with this first one. And for anyone who is on the video or on YouTube or Facebook, you will see these come up. For everyone else, we'll just be reading it. First question: what was your worst experience post-op? Murph, if you want to jump on that one.
Yeah, so that's an easy one. My worst experience post-op was probably 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half post-op. I had some serious pain in my abdomen. I knew I would, right? I feel like I was walking too much. Anyways, I went to the ER. They gave me some painkillers and sent me home. But I had bruising. It was just so unnatural. The feeling in my stomach was so unnatural. And then I talked to you and Rob. Oh yeah, Rob was another great episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then come to find out that I was probably just walking too much. I felt so good, but I needed to chill. I needed to relax, and I needed to trust the process. And I wasn't, trusting the process just yet. And so I had some difficulties right out of the gate, and then I had to learn that
Yeah.
that my body is not at all like it used to be, and it never will be again. And I need to give myself grace and patience and just take it easy. Because that was a lot of pain, and now I know. Even just wrestling with my son the other day, bruised my ribs. I'm still, I'm thinking I'm, 26, and I'm definitely not. And so,
Yeah.
And I'm thinner than I've ever been, so I'm a bit more fragile. And so,
Yeah.
this whole learning experience in general has been, I'm learning to relearn life and how to eat, drink, sleep, everything.
Wow. Good.
What about you?
Another question.
You're not going to answer that question?
Oh, I can answer that question. Yeah. Honestly, my first, I don't know, I'd say first 2 months were just tough for me, right? Like, I go into it thinking, I'm in pretty decent shape for where I am at that time. I'm just like I have a high pain threshold. I'm gonna be good. I'm good. I go. I have my surgery. I can't drink any water. Like literally no water. I like
Yeah.
the little cup. I
Yeah.
couldn't drink anything. I couldn't keep anything down. I couldn't eat. I was having some hallucination type dreams every night for the first, I don't know, first like 3 days.
Wow.
Like weird, like I was part of the LA Lakers, but in the 80s, weird type, just crazy dreams.
Wow.
I couldn't walk. I would get nauseous every time I'd walk. And so
Yeah.
all like my self-esteem, my ego was like shot after that. I couldn't get anything done. I had tendonitis in one leg, and then the next day I had tendonitis in the other leg. And then I took anti-inflammatories. Or no, sorry, I took a topical anti-inflammatory. We're not allowed to take with RNY. We're not allowed to take anti-inflammatories anymore.
Right.
And I took a
Right.
topical because one of my doctors was like, "Yeah, it should be okay." Then I got an ulcer on Christmas Eve. No, it was a New Year. Yeah, Christmas Eve or something. It was bad. So it was a big challenge overall. Then I
Yeah.
stalled for like, it was like 7 weeks. I lost 2 pounds in 7 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was tough. And then, going back to one of the conversations that we've had and I've had with Rob, the poop
Yeah.
was tough back then, right? I'm glad we
Yeah.
are past that, but the poop was
Yeah.
tough back then. So
Yeah. We've pushed through it.
yeah, yeah, literally.
We're-
My wife asks, what was your biggest fear going into the surgery?
Hmm.
Go for it, Mark.
Well, for me personally, other than when I was 9 years old, I had my tonsils removed when I was 9. I was just terrified. I was really in my head, just terrified I wasn't going to come out. I was too big. My body wasn't going to be able to handle it. That was my motivation, I think, to lose, because I lost 120 pounds before my surgery.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, like, if I'm going to have this surgery, I want to make my healing process at the other end better. But I also want to make sure I survive the surgery. I didn't think my body was actually going to hold up. I thought I was going to have a lot more complications than I did. And so my biggest fear going into the surgery was having the surgery itself, and could my body, even though I felt like I had a very high pain tolerance, and I feel like I can follow all these rules, and I can do it for, I've got the motivation and I can do it, but I was scared. I was very scared that I just wasn't going to make it out of the surgery. And yeah, but here I am, 15, almost 16 months post-op. So
yep,
I made it. And so
that was the same as me.
A bit of an irrational fear, but
Oh, I think it's warranted though. Like, anytime you're going into surgery, like we all know that there are complications to it, but it's scary, right? Like, I think for me, it was the same thing. It was sort of, I don't even know if I told my wife this, and that's why she's asking it maybe. That was my biggest fear, was not waking up. But it was weird because I also wanted to make sure that I looked confident. I don't know what it is about me, but I want to look confident going into the surgery. So having conversations with the surgeon and everyone else, maybe I sort of felt if I was confident, then it would boost them up, knowing, not, well aware that they've done this many, many, many times before, right? But yeah, I went in being cool, being like, yeah, everything's cool, having this conversation as I'm like going under. But prior to that, while I was sitting waiting, because everything was delayed for me, I was, that was my fear, that I wasn't going to wake up. And I've had to do this 3 times, but I had to find it. Hey D, how are you?
What's up, D?
I had to sort of come to terms that, hey, I might die right now, and be okay with it. I had 3 times. This time when I had surgery, with bariatric surgery, when I had my skin removal surgery, again, you're being put under. And the 3rd time was when I was on a plane and we were dropping like crazy amounts because of turbulence. Like we had a we had a pilot sitting close to us, and he was freaking out at how much we were dropping. And I remember everyone was freaking out, and I had in my head, I had to come to terms with, hey, this might be it.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are the 3 times. So
That's never good when the pilot's freaking out, you know,
right,
or,
exactly,
or,
right.
or if the doctor's freaking out and like, hey, where did that go? You know, like, where's my cell phone? You know, like, or something. You know, you start to get a little worried. But
for sure.
Yeah.
But no, like you said, we are here. It is 2 years and a bit after the surgery, and we're all doing well. So, we've all come out from all of those.
We just got started. We're only a couple questions in. You haven't missed much. I'm jealous that you went to the gym. Wish I could have gone to the gym today. But yeah.
Hey man, you getting your steps in, I guarantee.
I did, man. I got some crazy steps in.
That's it. We're gonna go to Old Faithful Mary. We can always depend on Mary to come up with awesome questions.
She sent you
what does a typical day look like for each of y'all? And I could tell it's Mary because y'all, right?
Absolutely.
And when I read it in my head, I read it in Mary's voice. Food, exercise, how do you balance this journey with family and work?
Like, even if that was an anonymous question, we would have been like, that was Mary.
Right.
I know that's Mary.
Or it's Murph trying to come across as Mary. That would be my second guess. A typical day looks like for me, and now that it's back to school, it really is this is what it is. We get up at 7:30, get ready, get the kids ready, do all that. We walk them to school, start work. As of late, I've been spending some time in the morning playing pickleball. Thanks, y'all.
Mary said, thanks, y'all.
I am addicted to pickleball. I play almost every day for a couple hours. And I've changed my workout and tried to fit everything also around that, because it's a crazy workout. It's really intense the way we play for it. Work equals pickleball. Yeah. Hey, I get my work in too, man.
Sure.
Yeah. So I play pickleball, have all my regular meals. I have like 2 post-workout meals, because I always have to eat after pickleball, and I always have to eat after my weight training that we do at 4:30, right? So we go pick up the kids, come back, work more, do our workout, make dinner, and sort of wind down after that, right? Like, there's just so much other things, help kids with the homework. Yes, D loves pickleball too.
See, I thought about playing pickleball. I didn't think I was old enough yet to play pickleball.
Dude.
You know? So,
you need to play, because these retired people kick my butt every day.
I want to get back in the rink. I want to play hockey again. That's one of my goals is to play hockey, and I need to find the time. So Mary's asking the question: what does a typical day look like? What day? Typical for me, Mondays look very different from Tuesdays. We've got so many things going on with a family of 9. We have nothing typical, typically. But as far as like my eating habits and my regimen goes, I start my day every day, and I have for the past 15, maybe even more months, with a Profi protein coffee, iced coffee, or hot coffee, depending on how I wake up. If I wake up with some, if I'm sweating, I'm going to have an iced coffee. If I wake up freezing cold, I'm going to have a hot coffee. And that's usually what determines that. And then my lunch is usually pretty small, some more protein again. And then, snacks, I try to keep them small, with protein. Fiber is important. But we've got, we're homeschooling all of our kids. We have 7 kids. All of them are being homeschooled. My wife is in nursing school, 2nd semester. And then I'm picking shifts up at the hospital whenever I can, whenever there's off time. So today I woke up, it was like, hey, I'm going to go in for 8 hours. And that was, so no day is typical for us. And that's why I haven't had a chance to go to the gym in weeks, I'll be honest with you guys, because our lives change like the wind. And I wanted to get a system in place where I'm going to the gym at this time every single day, and I haven't been able to do that. We're still paying for this membership, and I've only used it a few times, and I'm bummed, but I'm exhausted at the end of the night. I'm still losing weight. I feel like I'm, you know, gaining some muscle, or at least getting my steps in, and, you know, I'm feeling healthy. And so the gym, unfortunately, is waiting right now, but hoping to have a typical day here soon.
But I think that's the hard part, right? It's
It
like,
is.
I think for, if I were to have the schedule that you have, it would be way harder for me. Like, I find that I excel with structure. As you know, I'm friggin' like, okay, let's do this. Let's ask this question. Let's do this. Let's, you know, I'm very structured with the way I try to do things. And so with things changing so much, it would be very difficult for me to try to balance everything, right? Like, I need to have a specific time that's set for family. I need to have a specific time that's set for eating and doing this and this and this, right?
Yeah. They're
Size
giving me
30 pants.
man,
man,
they're giving me some stuff about my pants.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I put on the 32s. I was like, hey, I think I went down a size, so I went in for some 32s, and those were still kind of falling off me. So I was like, are you serious? I got to get 30s? What? This is crazy.
Damn. Size
I'm
30s.
excited. Thank you, guys.
You're going to be in your 170s. Look at this guy.
I weighed in at 178 a couple weeks ago.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mary had a follow-up question also. Also, how has that changed as time has gone on? Like, what was it like 3 months, 6 months, and a year out? And that's also in regards to sort of the balance. For me, I think within 3 and 6 months, this was my priority, right? Like, I had to prioritize this whole journey. Everything was about this, right? So, not that I put my family on hold or anything like that, but everyone was understanding of this is, you know, I went under surgery to try to change my life. So this was my priority. And so with eating and with exercise and everything, that was what I had focused on. Now, after, you know, even after 6 months, at 6 months, it was still a priority for me. A year out, you know, I started moving back to, okay, now how does everything sort of fit with everything else now? At this point, you know, with me 2 years out, it's sort of, this is my life, right? This is exactly what I wanted. I want this to be a part of what I do now. I wanted it just to be a part of who I am now. And so it's just a matter of how I can maintain everything. And I've said this a couple of times that, you know, I spent the first year trying to build those habits that I can use after that year. And for me, that's been the best thing, because now everything is just part of my daily life now, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, same here. I mean, there is a structure to my life, and my lifestyle that's different from what it used to be. And there has to be that structure. It's probably not as structured as you would, you know, but I can't, because when you've got 7 kids and we're a blended family, we've got other, you know, we've got exes that we have to meet and drop kids up, pick kids up, and, you know, so things are always different and always changing, and no 2 weeks are the same for us. But what hasn't changed is my attitude towards food, my mental health. You know, that's getting better. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, especially with Elise being in nursing school. Nursing school is tough. It's really tough, and it takes a toll on your family. And, you know, there are days where there are weeks almost sometimes, you know, the whole week where I don't really get to see my wife a whole lot, and I need that support in my life. And so, you know, it's tough, but got to try to keep my head screwed on straight. Got to get my meals, you know, right. Got to make sure I'm eating healthy. Got to make sure I'm, you know, doing everything that I've done for the past year to stay on track. And even with like my Instagram, a lot of the stuff that I've been posting lately, it's not about bariatric surgery or weight loss. It's just my life now. You know, I feel like I'm in this transition between, You know, it was all like bariatric hype. Aside from the waiting table, I rarely talk about my weight. Well, I mean, I posted about my pants because I think that's, you know, that's kind of cool. I had to share that, you know, but I feel like I'm getting further away from, you know, look at how much weight I've lost, or, you know, the pant sizes are, you know, those posts are getting fewer and far between. And now it's just like, look what I can do, you know, look what, and I hope, I don't know if people are seeing that without me pointing it out, but like, I'm doing stuff with my family. We're going to Cedar Point. I'm riding roller coasters, and, you know, and so I feel like I have to interject a little bit in there. Like, I'm down 286 pounds and this is why I'm doing it. But at the same time, I'm just living my life now. Check it out. You know what I mean? Like, this is just, I'm just doing me, you know? So
that's sort of the way I feel too, right? Like, you know, being 2 years out, it's just like, okay, like I've sort of gotten to the place I was hoping to get, right? And so this is my life now, and it's okay, what am I going to post about? And it's just like, okay, I'm going to post about these other things. I'm like, I don't know if people, at least with this Instagram, I don't know if they really care to hear about that stuff, right? So but I'm going to keep doing it anyways. So we're going to do it. Awesome question. Most likely from a friend of mine who is making fun, or my brother, or many people, or it's someone who just wants to know, how big of a nerd are you from 1 to 10? 10. I'm a big nerd. So
now there's a difference between like a nerd and a geek, though, right? So like,
both.
What is a nerd, and what is, I don't know. What's the definition of nerd?
That's a good question.
How do you classify a nerd?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of.
And I didn't ask this question. I didn't ask.
No. Yeah. I like a lot of, like,
your wife says you're 100.
My thing.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife's 100%. Lord of the Rings is my thing. Harry Potter is my thing. I'm the type of guy who will be at like you know, this happened in Rome when we were in Rome. You know, we're doing a tour, and the tour guide is like, "Hey, this, and it's giving all this information," and I'm the one who's sort of correcting him because it's not historically correct and stuff like that. Like, I know my stuff. I play video games. I play D&D with friends. You know, I do all those different things.
All right.
I memorize, like, I'm a big movie geek, right? Like, I'll memorize quotes, I'll memorize scenes, I'll memorize all these different things. So I'm a big nerd. I'm 10. My wife said 100. She knows, but the thing is, my wife's a closet nerd too. Like, she'll be like, "Oh, you're such a nerd." I'm just like, "Hey, guess what? You're a nerd with me," right? So you just don't own it like I do.
and you know, sometimes it's better to own it. You know, why would you hide that in the closet? You know, like, that's you're not benefiting from that. You're just, you know, you're a poser at that point.
That's it.
I'm kidding, Mary. Don't hate me. So, okay, if that's the definition of a nerd, then I guess I'm a 10 as well. I don't know. For those of you who don't know or never been on my Instagram, I guess, our whole house is Harry Potter themed, right? So we're pretty nerdy. I love Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I quote lots of movies as well. I'm a bit of a movie buff. And I do play video games as well. I don't know if I go as far as like D&D. So maybe I'm a 9 on the nerd scale.
Oh, okay, that's good. It's still an A+, though.
And I play hockey, so that, you know,
so I feel like
I don't play pickleball.
Oh, see, that would have gotten you to straight 10. I always feel like, you know, I tell my wife this, like, I always feel like I had enough to sort of balance it out. Like, people wouldn't know, right? Like, I was, you know, same with you. I was always in bands, right? I was always performing. I was always playing a lot of sports. I had a ton of friends, all this stuff, right? And then as we get older, I'm just like, screw it. I do whatever I want, whatever I enjoy. And my friends, they'll just laugh at me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so. I feel like, you know, like in high school terms, like I could sit at any table. Yeah, like I could sit with the, you know, the band geeks or the nerds or the, you know, and I could I could go sit with the jocks. You know, I could
That's it. Yeah. Jason, how are you, man?
Well-rounded, I guess.
There you go. Another good question is, hold on.
I've got a question from someone who said they were coming on, so I didn't want to answer the question or talk about it until they came on.
We can wait.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for them, but that's the only question I got in my DMs.
No worry, we got some stuff. What is
What?
your favorite part of your body? I had said in my thing that we'll answer everything, so I guess we're answering everything. It's all you, man.
Favorite part of my body, babe. I don't know. I like my shoulders. I think my shoulders are looking good these days, and so I'm not gonna lie. I sit in the mirror and I just kind of like my shoulders. I don't know. I like my shoulders.
That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a collarbone. You can see it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's a collarbone there, and it's kind of cool. I don't know.
It reminds me of what Dee mentioned about his knees, right? Like you're used to
Yeah.
like your thighs getting in the way, that your knees hurt now because they're same thing with collarbones. My kids will hug me and they're just like, "What the hell, man? What is this?" I'm like, "It's
Yeah.
collarbone. Sorry." I
Yeah,
didn't have it
my son
before.
broke my rib the other day. Like, you know, like he
Yeah.
grabbed me too tight, and like, yeah,
That's it, man.
I'm always in pain. I'm fragile.
Hey, man. It comes with the
I've
territory.
got what's called a xiphoid process. I don't know if anybody
Me
knows what
too.
it is. So my kids call it my third nipple.
Yep.
But when I hug people, it just kind of stabs them. And so it doesn't really hurt me all that much, but it's like it sticks out. It's really weird. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's kind of freaky, but I do find myself kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. Every once in
yeah.
a while. Therapeutic.
Different. It's something different, you know.
Yeah, it's something. My favorite part of my body are my quads or my legs. I like my calves. That's cycling though. My wife has asked a question, probably to take the heat off me being a nerd and talking about my legs.
Didn't she already ask a question?
Yeah, she has another one.
You only get, oh, okay.
Yeah, stop asking questions, Mary. Was there ever a fear that the surgery wouldn't work? And Jason actually answered and said, "I know there was for me."
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a fear for you that the surgery wouldn't work?
There's still that fear for me. Like, you know, like I know I've lost a lot of weight. I've had great success, but I still feel like the other shoe's going to drop. Like something's, you know, going to bounce back. I've been doing it wrong this whole time, or, you know, like something, like my body's going to catch up, and, you know, all of a sudden I'm going to gain the weight back or something like that. So there's still this fear that it might not work, even though it has. Does that make sense? I don't know if, you know, if I'm explaining that, but yeah. And then of course, yeah, coming straight out of surgery, you know, I'm thinking it better work. You know, after all this, you know, I hope it works. There was always that fear that it wouldn't, and now I'm in a size 30 pant, which I don't think I think I was in a 30 when I was in like 5th grade. So that's motivation to keep me going, and I hope it just keeps working, you know.
Yeah. I think for me, like, so I can't say that right after the surgery I ever felt like it wasn't going to work. I feel like right after the surgery and everything I had done prior, and how my mindset was, I was set. I felt like I knew it was going to work. I didn't think it was going to work as the way that it did. I think that took me by surprise. I didn't think I was going to be losing that quickly. I didn't think I didn't know how affected I would be with changing my overall habits. But I do agree. Like, I know Carrie had mentioned, like, she lives with that fear sometimes too, right? And you had mentioned, I think the biggest fear is, am I going to ever get to the point where it's just like I totally drop the ball and then I start eating a crap load and I start gaining stuff, right? And so I know that oftentimes I'll just keep on top of things, but I think the other thing is I'm a lot more accountable for my actions now. So, like, if I know that I'm eating poorly, then I'm not surprised if I step on the scale and something's happening, and I'll act towards that and change that behavior. Whereas before it would be sort of denial, right? So
Yeah.
I think that was the reason I had the surgery. I was just like, if I ever drop the ball and I start gaining again, I won't gain 50 pounds. I'll gain a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because I just can't eat 10 quarter pounders with cheese anymore or something, right?
Right.
So yeah, that was
and for me, it's like not the number or the amount of eating; it's what I'm eating too.
Yep.
So I've noticed, because we've been in party mode, because we had a Halloween party, and before that we had, we've just been kind of like celebrating and doing things with the kids and having fun, and we've had pizza. God, I had pizza today for lunch. I've had pizza like 6 times in the past week.
Yeah.
So, and I can't lie to you guys. I'll be honest. I did weigh in, and this is why I said earlier, a couple weeks ago, I weighed in at 178. Today, I weighed in at 185. And so I've gained back that weight, 8 pounds or 7 pounds. And it hurt. It hurt me, not in a way that it was like, oh, all is lost. Forget it. I'm done. It was just, it hurt in the sense that, like, all right, get back on the horse. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're doing wrong. You know how to fix this. You know, you can fix it in a week or two. You know what I mean? But you just got to do the right things. And then, you're holding yourself accountable. And now you guys are holding me accountable, because now my business is out there. And now I'm sharing with you, how I got into a size 30 jean, I don't know, because, I gained some of that weight back, but it happens, but knowing, having the mental stability to be able to tell yourself, like, don't dwell on that. Don't live in that moment. Know it's the pizza, it's the cheeseburgers, it's the, you went to McDonald's a couple times. You need to cut back. You haven't been doing that all year. Why are you doing it now? You've got no reason to do that. Yeah, these are the conversations I'm just having with myself. Time to get serious, and
that's the big thing, right? Like, we talked about being able to adjust, right? This is exactly what you're doing. We probably wouldn't have done that in the past. So that's the big thing as you go. And, in line with what Mary was asking about, how have you balanced things at 3 months and 6 months and 1 year? Same type of thing. How do you handle things like regain at that time? Because all of us will regain at some point. Like, I've regained a little bit too, right? Every once in a while I'll gain, but I'll know exactly why, because just like you can be honest with yourself about that, right?
Yeah. We got buckets of candy laying around this house. And
100%, right?
How do I not pick up the dark chocolate Three Musketeer or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Like, that's like, oh man, we never have that in the house, exactly. And then 1 turns into 3, and then 3 turns into 8, and it's just like, oh my God, stop.
Exactly how it goes, man.
Yeah, but we're getting some good comments here. I want to go back just a minute. D said he needs to get some booty back. Yeah, my butt is flat. I don't know where my butt went, man. That fear is real. Mary said she lost 30 pounds, or she gained 30 pounds back in 8 years, 8 years out, and it was scary. Yeah, it can be scary, but we've got the tools. We know what to do.
That's it.
And so to stop and say, do a self-check, self-evaluation, and say, all right, I gained this weight back. What do I need to do to fix it? All right. I think that's it.
Right.
You guys don't have Three Musketeers in Canada?
No. Oh, yeah, we do. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know good chocolate. That's why.
Okay.
Maybe if she ever gets to 380, she'll be a connoisseur like I was.
Yeah, right. You'll find that stuff. You'll find it. You'll know exactly who to talk to. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Another good one. Worst pickup line you've ever heard. I'm going to tell my story because it's not about me, and it's not necessarily a pickup line, but it was a pickup attempt, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Sorry to my wife, the real Mary Mac. It's going to be about you and one of your experiences, but I was watching it. So we were at this barbecue one time at this park, And this is when my daughter, yeah, I'm sorry. This is when my daughter was young, right? As in my wife was breastfeeding. And so she's sitting out covered up, baby's covered up. She's clearly feeding the baby. And this like, yes, Reese's is exactly where it's at. And this like, I don't know, she's like this like 14-year-old, 15, 16-year-old. My wife looks young, but like
So
15
Betty,
stuff. These 15 or 16-year-old comes up to her and he's just like, hey. And I'm just like, oh, this guy's trying to pick up my wife right now. And he doesn't know exactly what's going on. Like, he doesn't see that she's like trying to feed a baby. And
oh my
so
gosh,
I'm just like, part of me should be like, you should probably stop. But then the other part of me was like, this is amazing. I would like to see what happens here. So then I did. I just said, and then so he was trying to like talk to her and like flirt with her and stuff. And she was sort of like, yeah. And she's just giving like quick answers and sort of being like, I'm not interested. Also, the guy was like 15 years old or whatever. And she thought that she was like 17. But yeah, she just kept, I was laughing. Yes, 100% I was laughing. But he just kept going, and then at some point I think he just got the hint.
uh,
But I was like, this is the most ballsy guy ever. And yes, it could be considered like the worst pickup attempt ever, but I also give him that it might have been the best pickup attempt at the same time. So I give it off to that kid.
what
Kid
did he
with
say
glasses.
exactly? What do you know, or what?
Mary, do you remember? He was like, oh, it was something along the lines of like that whole like, oh, do you come here often type thing,
Oh my
and
god,
and she was just like full out, like you could see the cover on and everything. You could see the legs sticking out underneath. And I'm just like, this is amazing.
that's
Like,
awesome.
this is fondest memory. Mary, we've been married for many years. We've been together since high school. This might be one of my favorite memories of you. Love
That's great.
you.
That's great.
I know that you were waiting for one of the people who sent you that message, but we only have like 5-6 minutes. So
Yeah.
do you want to?
I'll just he said I could use his name, and I was hoping to talk to him about it. But I just think it's a really good question. Mike _Page_ out of San Diego said that he's 6 months post-op. He's in a major stall, and he feels like he's losing inches, but he's not seeing it on the scale. And so I don't know. I just kind of wanted to encourage, because I feel like if you're losing the inches, you're not seeing it on the scale. Number one, you're probably gaining muscle. You're probably a little bit more active, and that's I was hoping to have the back and forth with him, I guess. But typically that'll happen, and those stalls, they're no joke. Stalls will mess your head up. You get into a stall for, and I don't think he's been in a stall for 6 months. What did he? No, he didn't say. I was trying to take notes on. I asked him how long he'd been in the stall. I don't know if he said, but I was just hoping to encourage him a little bit, and encourage anybody that is dealing with stalls, or trying to maintain. It's so hard, and then fluctuation. I'm going through this fluctuation period right now. I'm not stalling. I'm gaining, but I'm still losing. I did weigh in a little bit more. I weighed in today at 185. I am able to lose some of that weight. So it is possible, but it's about holding yourself accountable and deciding what you want to do, because it's your story, it's your path, it's your journey, and you're going to make it what it is. You got to put the work in. It's not an easy out. And I'm not saying that Mike is looking for an easy out. I know he's a pretty legit guy, and he's taking it very seriously. And so to see that he's 6 months out and feeling discouraged, it just kind of broke my heart a little bit, because I feel like I've been there. I've been 6 months out and hitting a stall and feeling like my life is, it's all, nothing's going to change. And I'm getting on the scale and I'm not seeing success, but I'm feeling better,
Right.
or my pants are, looser, or my shirt's looser, or whatever.
Yeah.
Mary said losing inches is so much more important than the number on the scale. We can't get hung up on the numbers, and that's something that I think we try to preach here at the waiting table, is that don't look at the number. Look at the things you can do that you couldn't do. Look at the time that you're spending with your family that you couldn't spend with them. Look at the choices that you're able to make, the activities that you're able to do. So I just wanted to be encouraging to Mike. I was really hoping he'd come on. But hey, Mike, you got this, man. And like I told him in our little chat, I was like, we're all in this together. It's cheesy and corny, and I think that's a Disney movie song.
100% it is, because I am a number 10 on Nerd, and I know that for sure.
High School Musical.
You are too, man. So you're a 10.
I've got kids. High School Musical. We're all in this together. Yeah.
There you go.
But we are. We're all in this together, and that's the whole point of sitting here at the table and coming together, and just I'm a firm believer that iron sharpens iron, and we're really all in this together. It's not just Rob's journey. It's not just Murph's journey. It's not just Mary and Mike and Dee's journey. It's all of our journeys. We're all in this together. We're all learning from each other. Not one of us, and I hope I'm not overstepping. I know I couldn't do this on my own.
Right.
I wouldn't have the success that I've had if it weren't for all of you. Everybody. Yep. Everybody here, 100%. Everybody that's watching, everybody that's, I could not have done any of this on my own at all.
Yep.
So, yeah.
100% agree. And, the only thing I would leave with you, Mike, is try to look big picture, right? Like it's hard to Mary had mentioned, don't worry about that number so much. And Murph mentioned, like, look at all the other things that you can do, but think of it that your body's going through a lot of changes still. Like it's a major surgery. So there are reasons why you're stalling. They don't just stall because you're just stalling, right? So there are reasons at different points and different intervals that are predictable. So don't get too hung up about it, especially if you're losing inches, right? That's the important thing, because at the end of the day, the number is not going to make you more mobile. The number is not going to necessarily make you healthier. It's going to be everything else. It'll be the fact that you have a smaller waist and the fact that you have less body fat overall because you are losing those inches.
Yeah.
Number is just one thing, right, man? So don't worry too much about that. You're still heading in that right direction.
Yeah.
And you'll get out of it. All of us do. Like I said, I was stalled. I lost 2 pounds in like 7-8 weeks. And it was tough, but we get through it. Man.
Yeah. Don't get hung up on it. This too shall pass.
Yeah. And I think that was a great way to sort of end this session, because comment, and I think it's something that all of us are or have gone through at some point. So Mike and everyone else, as Murph said, we're all in this together, and we'll come through for sure.
Yeah.
So again, guys, thanks so much for sending all the amazing questions. Once again, tons of fun. I love these sessions, and we will be back again next week with an awesome guest as per usual. But again,
that was probably the quickest hour that we've ever had. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm just like, oh crap!
Like I can't believe I'm looking at
now. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
All right.
So thanks for joining us on the Waiting Table Podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community
1 pound at a time.
Have a good night, guys.
See you guys.